Okay, guys, so here's what we're going to do today. We're going to use some of the elements in After Effects, and we're going to go and walk through a tutorial. I know that the last time that we met, I talked about how I thought that we were kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves. And so consequently, I thought it'd be great to just make sure everybody's on the same page and go back to basics a little bit. So I'm not going to step you through the entire tutorial, but I'm going to show you how the tutorial process works in After Effects. So I'm going to share my screen. Also, one thing that I'm going to try to do from now on is I want to try to have a pre-recorded component when we're doing something that's a little more difficult or a little more involved. So that's what I'm trying to do here, so that, yeah, I'm going to talk to you in class, but also instead of you having to wait till the next day for the recording to be posted, I want you to have something that you can go back to like during class if you have any issues and problems. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So now I've got my After Effects window, and here we go. This is what we're generally going to see. We usually see this, we start a new project, etc. But what we're going to do is we're going to start the tutorial. And if you don't have that, you could go directly to Learn. And then we've got getting to know the basics and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to start off, we're going to go to our home. And you should see this, and we're going to say to start tutorial. And when we do that, we've got a couple of different things that we do. We're going to go with the animate with keyframes tutorial. So the great thing about this interface is that it really walks you through very effectively as far as a tutorial goes, because it's not just watching a YouTube video, you actually step through it. So down here at the bottom is where you navigate. There'll be 6 different pages, but they're all very simple and very delineated of what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to hit the next button. It tells us that we're going to be animating with keyframes. So let's go to next. So in this format, it's going to give you video or photo representation of what you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to tell you in order what you should do. Excuse me. So I'm going to move the current indicator to the beginning of the timeline panel. So it tells you what the indicator is. We're going to move it to the beginning. So I'm going to move it over to the beginning, and it checks off that I've done it. Then in the timeline panel, select the balloon.ai layer. Checks off that I've done it. Then I'm going to go in the composition panel, and I'm going to click on the balloon, holding down the shift key and drag it down to where it's just barely visible. So holding the shift key constrains it to go either up or down or left to right. And I'm going to move it to right about there. And it tells me I did it perfectly. So that's great. So now I'm going to say next. And we're going to say, it's going to ask us to reveal the properties to animate. And you guys know that you just click on the little caret right here. And that tells us what to animate. And now we want to expand the transform settings and find the position setting, or position property rather. So here we are in position. And now click on the small stopwatch to the left of the position property, and you know that that will create a keyframe for that action. So it says perfect. And then it gives you a little more information. And then we step through, and it says changing a layer over time. Move the current time indicator to 2 seconds. So that would be 1, 2. So I'm going to move this over here. Okay. And then in the timeline panel, select the AI, which it is. Immediately find the 2 blue numbers, which is position, which is right here. Click on the vertical position and change its value to 540. So the second number. So I'm going to double click that and make it 540. And I'm going to hit enter. And it says perfect. So we've got it. Then I'm going to say next. And now I'm going to move this right here. It says move it back and then press the space bar. And there you go. So, and then next, we go to the next tutorial. Now you'll see that these only take 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, 3 minutes. But if we can all do that today, that should be able to help us get through and get some of these basics down. And plus, it'll make it so that you have a better fundamental understanding. You do have to understand that ideally, we would be in the classroom, and this would be a whole heck of a lot easier for me to teach because we'd all be on the same platform. We'd all have nice big screens, and everything would work the way it's supposed to. This is the first time I've tried to teach this virtually. So I think this is going to work better for everybody if we can all be on the same page and make sure that there's no accidents or no confusing things. And then that way you'll have this video to reference, and then you'll have the tutorials to go through. And then once we get that baseline, I think we'll be able to move forward and create some cool stuff. So I'll see you in class.